Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. It is day 4 of the 31 days of Vlogtober, and I thought that I would show you how I make my own scented pine cones. So for this project, all you're going to need is a bag of pine cones, some cinnamon oil, some glitter, any color of your choice, and a little spray bottle. I got that one from the Dollar Tree, and a baking sheet lined with foil, and my secret ingredient, some extra powdered cinnamon. So I started lining up the pine cones on the baking sheets. You just want to do a single layer. You don't want to crowd them or put them on top of each other. You just want to make sure they can be touching, but you just want to make sure that you do a nice single layer. And while they're baking, what you want to happen is to have the pine cones open up. So as you can see at the bottom here, these are all relatively tight and still closed, and you want them to open up like the top. So you're just gonna put these out, fill up the pan. And this was nice because my husband and I actually went and picked all these pine cones. We got most of them from the tree. Some were on the ground, but for the most part we actually picked them from a tree. And these are going to go into the oven, a preheated oven at 200 degrees, and you're going to bake them for 1 hour. So what I do, just to give it an added little punch of cinnamon scent, is while they're baking, I spritz them just a tiny bit with water, and then I add some powdered cinnamon. Now, you don't want powdered cinnamon all over your house when these are all finished, of course. But when these are done, you're going to be putting these into a plastic bag anyway with your cinnamon oil, and you're going to shake them around. And any excess powdered cinnamon that hasn't baked into the pine cone is going to come off at that time. So it's actually not a big deal, but it's twofold. It gives your pine cones some extra cinnamon scent, and it scents your house while they're baking. So it's actually quite nice to have these in the oven because your house will smell like the holidays, your house will smell like Christmas while they're in there doing their thing. So I think I'm gonna add one more to this cookie sheet, and that's it. That's as far as I'm gonna go. So I'm gonna add some water to my little spray bottle. This is just a little cheap spray bottle. It's actually not that great. The quality's not that great, but I got it at Dollar Tree, and sometimes these little spray bottles are difficult to find, so I was pretty happy to have found one at all. So I'm just gonna take this spray bottle and I'm just gonna add just a really tiny layer of water. I'm gonna pull this back so you can see what's going on. You don't have to soak them. They just need a little bit of water just to have that cinnamon stick. So now what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna take my cinnamon and I'm just gonna sprinkle a little bit across the whole thing. So there's no science to it, there's no amount. Just put on a generous amount, but don't saturate them in powdered cinnamon. So just like that. Very lightly. And these are ready to go into the preheated 200-degree oven. So I'm gonna come back as soon as these are baked, as soon as they're finished baking, and I will show you the next step. So you wanna check on these every now and then just to make sure that they're not burning. You can actually just reach in with a pot holder and give the pan a shake just to distribute the cinnamon around a little bit more, or just to make sure that they're not actually burning in one spot. So other than that, yeah, let them go for the full hour. All right, now while the cinnamon pine cones are in the oven baking, they have about 55 more minutes to go, I went ahead and opened one of the little bottles of the cinnamon oil. So I don't know if it's gonna focus, it's really bright. Anyway, okay, it says cinnamon oil on it. So I found this at Walmart. It was a 2-pack, and I believe the price was something like $2.14 for the pack. So I went ahead and opened one, and I added just a little bit of water, as you can see at the bottom here, because we're going to dilute this just a tiny bit. So I've opened one of the bottles, and I'm going to add this to our water. That way the cinnamon oil goes just a little bit longer, and we're going to shake that up, and then that's what we're going to spray the pine cones with. As soon as we spray the pine cones, while they're still damp from the water and oil solution, we are going to be adding our glitter. And that's really it. That's all we have to do. We need to shake them in a bag just to make sure that the oil and water is distributed evenly on all the pine cones. We want to make sure that they're all completely coated. And then we're just going to leave them in the bags overnight or for as long as possible. If you don't need to use these right away, leaving them in the bag as long as possible, just giving it a shake every day or so, it really makes the scent even more concentrated. So again, if you don't need to use these right away, if you have some time or you just have the patience to let them marinate with the scent, definitely hold off and let them do their thing in the bags. But I'm going to show you the rest of the steps, and I'm going to leave this bottle here just so every drop of oil escapes it into the little spray bottle, and I will show you when the pine cones are ready for the next step. Okay guys, I'm back, and the pine cones are out of the oven and they smell incredible. I'm really happy with the way they turned out. Many of them opened up quite a bit, so it's going to be really nice and very easy to have the oil adhere to it. So this is our oil solution, and I used this little bottle of the cinnamon oil, and I mixed it with just a tiny bit of water, and I gave it a good mix in the bottle. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and start spraying this on. Oh my gosh, it smells so good. So I'm being really liberal with it, and then I'm going to set that aside, and I'm going to open my glitter, and I'm going to be using a few pinches of that. This is my jar of glitter. I'm going to just take out a few pinches with my fingers, because if you get a little glitter on yourself, that's just a bonus. Who doesn't like a little sparkle? So I'm just going to be adding this all over in this little glitter dance. It looks really pretty. And oh my gosh, if you guys could smell this through the computer or the phone or whatever you use to watch YouTube, you would be just amazed at how good this is. So I'm going to shake these around a little. Now the next step is to get a gallon size Ziploc bag, and I'm going to open it up, and I'm just going to add a bunch of the pine cones to it. So what I'm going to do after that, and I'm going to shake off, if any of these have a little excess cinnamon, I'm just going to shake them off, but it's okay, it'll come off in the bag. What I'm going to do is I'm going to fill it up about that high, as you can see, and I'm going to take my oil and water solution, spray a little bit more inside the bag. I'm going to take a liberal pinch of glitter. I'm going to add that to the bag, and then I'm going to seal it up. Then I'm going to give it a good mix by shaking it all around. Hopefully, if I can get it to seal. Okay, there we go. Hopefully, by doing this, the glitter will disperse, the oil will disperse, and everything will be coated really nicely. Okay, so I'm just going to do that with another bag. And this is probably going to take 3 bags, this batch that I've done right here. And ideally, this is the last note for you. Ideally, what you would like to do is leave these all zipped up in a bag for about a month. And it's going to allow the oil to really penetrate the pine cones. And it's going to make them have really lasting staying power with the scents throughout the season. And, oh, my dogs are barking. It's going to really make them have a long-lasting scent. But if you don't have 4 weeks like me, if you just want to use these right away, it's okay. They may not stay scented as long, but you can make more. And if you ever don't want to go through the entire process, you can just put all the cinnamon or all the pine cones into a bag again down the road, spray them again with more of your oil solution, leave in a bag for a couple days, and just refresh the scent. And that's it. That's literally all you have to do. So that's it, guys. When these are all finished being scented and infused in a couple of days, I'm just going to put these in a basket, and I'm going to give some of them away. I'm going to take some to work, put them on my desk, and I'm just going to distribute them and display them around my home. So that's all there is to it. Scented pine cones. You don't have to pay $5 a bag at Michael's or however much they are at your grocery store. You can definitely do this on your own. The pine cones are free. You know, enjoy the fall weather. Go outside, pick some, and just enjoy the experience of doing this. If you make your own pine cones, let me know. If you do other additives such as maybe some nutmeg, or I don't know what else you could use. I mean, cinnamon is the traditional scent, but you know, I'm sure that everybody has their own way of doing things and more creative ideas. So leave them in the comments, and thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it, and I will see you next time on day 5 of Vlogtober. Take care. So it's pretty sure these are good for snacking. Maybe not.